Team Ameka, and today we will be presenting a new solution to an old problem. Impaired driving has plagued generations ever since the invention of the automobile.
It's Friday night. A few hours earlier, your teen left to go hang out with their friends, yet they still haven't returned home. Like the 3/4 of parents in our community who suspect that their teen may have driven impaired, you're worried.
According to the CDC, 1 out of every 10 teens drinks and drives. Though we initially focused on impairment due to alcohol, we realized that our problem extends to other causes of impairment as well. According to an Australian research center, 24 hours without sleep yields an impairment level equal to that of the consumption of 4 beers. As shown through our survey results, there's a troubling difference between the low amount of students who are concerned with, who doubted their driving ability versus the high amount of students who doubted other drivers.
That's where our app comes in. The Safeguard Driving app will evaluate whether or not a user may be either impaired or too tired to drive.
Our app consists of 3 tests that make up a total of 5 tasks. They assess attention, reaction, and balance, which are all essential to driving. Our app is based off a point system. The user needs at least 4 points to pass. Once the user has completed the test, an automatic text message will be sent to their already inputted emergency contact, letting them know their result. If the user should fail, they are giving the option to call their emergency contact or other taxi services such as Uber, and we are currently looking into connecting our app to the car through Ignition Interlock.
Our app will be sold for 99 cents. In our survey, the majority of students and parents have said they would purchase our app. Given those results, we conservatively assumed a 20% uptake our first year and additional 15% uptake each additional year. During each additional year, rising juniors and some seniors will earn licenses, creating a new market. The graph depicts how, as we approach new schools and areas, old targeted regions continue to purchase our app. During our first 3 years, we'll target all the high schools in New England, making around $100,000. During our 4th and 5th years, we want to target 50% of the high schools in the United States, making around $300,000. In 5 years, our accumulated profit will be over $500,000.
We have contacted car insurance companies such as Ameka and Geico, as well as car companies such as Honda and Volvo, because we know that our app has the potential to become an add-on market feature that they offer. Additionally, we will target each town, schools, parent-teacher organizations, and each town's safety committee. For example, the Winchester Coalition for a Safer Community has already contacted us to develop our app for them to use.
Comparable apps in this field are used mainly for entertainment purposes or require the user to purchase additional parts such as a breathalyzer. Our biggest competitors focus solely on intoxication. Not only does our app address this issue, but it targets all impairment of the necessary capabilities for driving. Our app will have a significant impact on people's lives. As a team, we know that the sooner we perfect our app, the sooner we will be able to help the members of our community. Teens in the business world are scarce and usually not taken seriously. But in this case, we believe our age only strengthens our ability to understand our users. We are the demographic our app is targeting. We are motivated, organized, and dedicated to helping save the lives of our peers and ultimately all drivers around the world. Thank you for your time, and now we'd love to entertain any of your questions.
So my biggest concern with this model is, does a teen at that point actually even think about using the app? And have you done any research around that? And what's the sort of data showing you around that?
So through the survey that we gave to the students, they actually said in the comment section that they would use the app to prove that they were responsible to their parents. It would be a way to sort of prove that they weren't driving impaired. And ultimately, with the Ignition Interlock feature, they would not be able to start their car without passing the test. So that would be a way to make sure that they are off the roads and protected.
How did you decide which specific tests? I remember the balance test, and then you have some, various color and arrows and things. How did you decide on that specific set of tests?
We actually talked to Dr. Alexandra Geyer. She's a neuroscientist, and she suggested these. We also talked to some of the local police officers who said that these were the 3 aspects they would test a person if they were caught driving impaired, which would be attention, reaction, and balance. So these tests were introduced by us.
So what happens if the test isn't completed in the time? Does it automatically call the emergency number?
We have set times for each part of the test, but for instance, if a user forgets or doesn't do it fast enough, there are 4 points that you have to get to pass. So even if you miss one, you can always follow and keep going with the test, and you will still be able to pass.
I guess what I meant is, what if you bail out and you leave the app before completing the 4 tests?
Okay, so that would probably, it would send a text to the emergency contact. And if the user was not impaired, they would probably get contacted by their emergency contact, and they could explain to them the situation and either figure out a way to get a ride home or figure out a way to, find their situation.
What was the most technical challenge that you faced when building the app?
Probably the balance test. We had to get many different timers going on there and make the ball move with the phone when you tilt it. So we did all that, and that took probably the longest test program. So.
Also, I know that we have a lot of slides and we exceeded the maximum capacity of MIT App Inventor. So right now we only have a prototype.